Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our very first Q&A video leading up to the final season for Game of Thrones, that is Season 8. And major spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen Game of Thrones up to current date, which is up to and including the Season 7 finale episode, amazing episode. I'll have the link to my full-length review in the description below, as well as in the end video credits at the end of this video. I really love that Season 7 finale. I think Game of Thrones does one of the best jobs of season finale episodes of any show. There's very few episodes where they've left us at a cliffhanger. Usually, every finale, every season, even if there's certain events that happen, like someone may be being killed and the potential for them being brought back the very next season, it's always satisfying to see the Game of Thrones finales, I want to say. Regardless of how they go, they're always amazing episodes, and they pretty much never let us down. So with Season 8, I'm sure it being the final season, they're not going to let us down either. Just seeing everything kind of come down the wire here to the last little stretch. It's both beautiful and sad at the same time if you've been a fan of this series for, 7 full years at this time going into the 8th and final season. I've heard some controversy about when the season's going to be shown. As far as we know right now, the best prediction is summer 2018, and apparently they're starting filming in October. So I'll let you guys know as more news comes out, and I'll try to make more Game of Thrones videos this year because, this is it. After this season is done, that's it. Game of Thrones is over. We'll have to see what they've got for us in terms of the spin-off series, but this is it. This is the final season. So the first question for this one is, which is one that's been discussed a bit, and I want to kind of update it, and it is Cersei really pregnant? And this is an interesting one, I think, because at first I kind of took her word for it, and I really believed that she was. I thought it made a lot of sense that she, would be, of course, with it being Jaime as the father. We don't know everything that's gone on between her and Euron. They haven't showed us, all of their conversations. They haven't showed us everything that's happened between them. But we are to assume that if she is pregnant, Jaime, of course, is the father, and it could be. This is kind of what I'm hearing from a lot of people. They're thinking that she isn't, and they're thinking that she's basically just saying this to control Jaime. Well, now at this point, that hasn't worked. She has used it as well to kind of sway Tyrion to thinking that she will ally with the others and that there will be a change of heart here, so to speak, and that she will do that because, of course, if she is pregnant, then she has, someone else to protect. She has to think of the future, think of the baby, that kind of thing, and what kind of life it will have. Now, it's a tricky one because if you remember the witch from earlier on in the series that told her about her kind of fate or her future, so to speak, this one was not included in that, so far as I can remember. I'd have to look back to the specifics, but from what I can remember from memory, there was no mention of this child here. So is it that she'll probably be killed off before it's born? I think that's likely. Or it is possible that she's lying. I personally think that she is telling the truth. I think that she is actually pregnant, and that makes the most sense. But after seeing the Season 7 finale and how she's really got these twists and turns, these lies she's telling, she makes it seem 100% legitimate that she's going to ally with the others and she's going to help them. And then, of course, as she told Jaime, she's not at all going to do that, even to the point where she's kept him in the dark with regards to her negotiations with Euron, which is something that he obviously is very upset about. And you got to think that he's got to be thinking of that last conversation that he had with Olenna, who, she just had a lot of wisdom in what she said, with regards to him, and even what she said to Daenerys and the others. She's just so smart. She, had been alive for so long. She had seen so many things. And like she said, Cersei's a disease, and she will be the death of you one way or another. In this case, Jaime survives the Season 7 finale. She did not kill him at that point. But, this is tricky, and how that's going to affect Jaime. Although he has lost, a few of his kids already. And so for him, I think really... I think at this point, Jaime might just want to do the right thing, and he might see Cersei as just this monster that, it just maybe not being worth it anymore. Of course, I'm sure he loves her and everything, but maybe just not being worth it to have to go through what she's going to put him through, and, all the lies and everything that she's going to do, all the suffering, the people that are going to suffer. at her hands as a result of her and her actions, and possibly them losing 100% because, of course, them not lending aid when the Night King attacks. So I think she is. That's my thoughts, but you guys can write your comments below. Do you think Cersei is pregnant or not? And what motives would she have for lying if she was in fact lying? So you can leave those below. Oasis S says it's been a long-standing theory that Jaime will kill Cersei. He was the kingslayer, now he can become the queenslayer. It's poetic. And that's one that, I've done entire videos on before. We've talked about it for years, I want to say at this point. I really like the idea of Jaime being a queenslayer, so to speak. Like you said, it would be kind of a poetic end for their relationship. It might be a poetic end for him. We'll have to see what the event, what that would entail. But could we see something like, Jaime go and tell the others and then go back and then act like he's cool with Cersei, kill her, and then be killed by the mountain or something as a result. Like sacrifice himself to take Cersei out of the picture for humanity or something like that. Yeah, I would really like to see that. I can't think of anybody better to kill Cersei than Jaime, than for Jaime to be like, okay, this has got to stop, this is enough, and then have him be the one to do it. Him and Tyrion, I really like their story arc throughout the series, and really what's happened with them. And if Jaime was able to do that, he would really go down as one of the heroes of Game of Thrones, I want to say, rather than a villain, even though he was, heavily a villain in the first season, for sure. Dan Tombolani says, I tweeted you a question about Thoros. I'm pretty sure he was in the Army of the Dead as a wight, and that you can see him. Would love your opinion to confirm or deny this. So thanks, Dan. I'll definitely check that out. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna go over it slowly, put it in slow-mo, and maybe enhance the brightness a bit, and see if Thoros was in there. I would think he should be, because he's killed by the dead, and that's the thing about the dead, and that's why you really got to face them all at once. You can't really face them in this battle, retreat, and then battle back, because every battle they win, they add the dead to their numbers, so they grow and grow and grow. If you lose, if they have 70,000 men and you have 60,000 and they win the battle, all of a sudden now they probably have like 80 to 100,000, or 110,000 men, and you just lost all them because they're adding a good number of those to their army. Even if you kill like majority of them, once you lose and you die, now you replenish. So they don't get weaker as they go. They get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you get weaker and weaker as you lose your men. So you can't really fight them in that kind of a way. So we're going to see how this is all going to play out and how this is going to go down. But I would like to see some special zombies or some special undead there with the Night King. Some, like you said, Thoros and some of the others. I would not be surprised in Season 8 if we saw them as White Walkers, and it kind of threw off some of our, like, what if Beric saw him? Like, what if Beric saw him and had to be the one to put him down in the battle? I think that would make perfect sense, and that would be really great to see in an episode for the battle sequence. Daniel says, this show is so much more enjoyable when it isn't spoiled going into it. I will literally yelling and celebrating as Sansa turned on Littlefinger. It was a great twist. It was spoiled for me, but it wasn't like so bad. Like, because the episode was so great, I was feeling it a lot. When we got to that point, I kind of knew, like, okay, I heard the spoiler. I didn't know if it was true or not. Ended up being true, so it was telegraphed a little bit for me. I probably would have been even more surprised if it wasn't. But that's really what I, was talking about last week in the video for episode 6. Spoilers really do ruin a show, I want to say. If you leak info, it really does kind of ruin it, because if you have a twist or something and it's known out there it totally takes away from the impact of the moment when there's a twist when you're watching it. If you don't have any info and then you're watching it and boom, there's a twist, it has a lot more impact than if you read it online in a text earlier and then you see it. There's something special about being able to see it the first time where you don't know that information, a twist comes and boom, it hits you. Your response is different. The way you feel about the episode is different. So that's where I'd encourage people. I've already heard that there's people spoiling Season 8, that kind of deal. I'm not going to be into that at all. If I make videos about it, I pretty much steer clear 100% now of spoilers because of this reason. Because it really does affect people's viewing experience, and I don't want to be that guy. There's lots of other that guys out there that are going to, post just spoilers online in comments or wherever. and you know, I don't want to contribute to that myself. So absolutely, and I'm really glad most of the stuff in the episode was not, I did not know going in, because it was really, really great to see. The wall coming down thing was, people have been talking about that for like 5 episodes though. The wall's just going to come down, so. But it was cool to see it, because I didn't know how it was going to come down, so that was cool. Ryan Craig says, such a fantastic episode, but you know some people will find something to complain about. So far, I haven't really heard too many complaints, really. I haven't. It's like Battle of the Bastards. After seeing that, I don't know how you could complain, you know. This episode is very similar in that way. Not a lot of people complaining because it really was that great. But you're right, Ryan. People always find something to complain about. Sometimes I'm guilty of it, too. It's just human nature, I guess. Sometimes I complain about spoilers too much, that kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, it's such a great episode. It's hard to find anything wrong with that season 7 finale. It was so amazing. drgreenthumbdjc says, did anyone expect the Mountain to kill Jaime or Tyrion? Because the Mountain has been very stationary this season. He didn't kill anyone. He only stepped between people and Cersei, and I was expecting him to kill someone. Well, you know, he's had a lot of awesome kill sequences. You're talking back to, like, what was that, season 6, where he smashes the guy in the alley. That was awesome. I think that was season 6. He's had some really great ones for sure. And, you know, he's really formidable, man. He's really impressive. So I do like to see him kill people too, but I'm glad he didn't kill either Jaime or Tyrion in this case. And, you know, it's hard to see. Like, I didn't think Cersei was going to let Jaime go, but then again, he kind of forces her hand, and she does love him. And so it's kind of tricky as far as that goes. But yeah, I'm really expecting to see Jaime and Cersei's relationship kind of come to a close now, or, you know, this next season, him maybe take up arms against her or hurt her chances. You know, what she's doing is a great strategy. It's just so cold and ruthless, which is what Cersei is. So I'm happy to see Jaime not stand by her while she's doing this kind of stuff. Marie will be the last one who says, damn, Trev, I don't know what I just watched, but damn, this is some epic television. My mind is officially blown. I haven't even wrapped my mind around this episode just yet. You know, it was amazing. I absolutely agree with you 100%. You know, Game of Thrones, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and, you know, this isn't the first time he's saying this. It really is, I think, the best done series of all time. I think it's the best executed series based off of an adaptation of a book I've ever seen. I mean, you know, I think of like some of the top ones, like Breaking Bad, some of the other, you know, HBO series that have been, Sopranos and stuff like that, are some of the best. But I mean, the stuff they're doing in this is so ambitious, and the scale is so huge that usually it doesn't go right. Most of the time when you try to do something like this, it doesn't work. It just falls flat. It just doesn't. You run out of money, or I don't know. It doesn't work. It's really hard. It's like when things all click, you know, and they just work sometimes. And Game of Thrones, man, you know, in these last few seasons for sure, I think it's really separated itself from all these other series I've looked at before. I want to say as of like season 5 and then getting into 6, once 6 ended, now they're just packing it on. They're adding on extra incredible quality with 7 and eventually with 8. It's going to be hard for any series to really match what Game of Thrones has done here. This is going to be a series people are probably going to watch in 20 years on Blu-ray or whatever and still love it and be like, wow, man, this is like, and to anyone who hasn't seen it, it's like, here's the Blu-ray, watch every season, and they probably won't sleep for a month or something because they'll just be watching it every day, you know, like all the time, because it's just that good. It's really amazing. So that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Send me more questions for another one tomorrow. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you soon.